HCD TV, from the publishers of Healthcare Design, providing expert insight into the design, architecture, and engineering of healthcare environments. Online, in print, and in person. HCD TV. A little bit about what it takes to be certified. And then the results after you get there. What can you expect? How is it going to improve your career?
Well, it's interesting because I just had a meeting this week with a young gal who is trying to figure out what sets her apart in healthcare design. And she was talking through the processes of what it's like to be a healthcare designer and how she's been doing like traditional marketing, and she doesn't really have any way of really greeting other than a cold call. And I said, so let's look at this a little differently. You know, you've got these projects, you've got case studies, you've got opportunity. I go, and you have a qualification exam that you can take that would actually raise the bar so that you would be above and beyond other people who would be competing with you. And so we kind of looked through the process, and she's like, you know, this makes a lot of sense. And I said, well, there's not a lot of AHID certified designers, so it would really set you apart. Clients are starting to look for people who have more credential, have more qualifications. There's nothing worse than having a corporate designer try to design a healthcare environment. You know, you want to talk about, you know, speccing the wrong materials, product failures, infection control. And healthcare design is complicated. There's a lot more to what we have to know than we used to have to know. You know, we used to have to know more of a minimum set of criteria, and now it's a lot deeper. It's sustainability issues, it's healthcare issues, not just infection control, but research and evidence-based information. So by taking the exam, all of those things have been rolled into the exam writing. We're reformatting the exam. We worked on that. We had a credentialing meeting a couple months ago, and so they're actually updating it now to reach the new guidelines, the new 2010 guidelines, new 2014 guideline cycles and process. So I just think it helps not only elevate the designer themselves, but it allows them to grow personally in terms of their education. But from a firm perspective, I think that it's elevated us as when people look for senior living consultants, they have a tendency of looking more for, well, who's more qualified? I had a meeting with a client, a gentleman I've known for a number of years. He's changed positions. He's executive director in a very small assisted living setting, and he's been following what I've been doing. And so he knew about qualified and qualifications. And he said to me, he goes, you know, I've been asked by our owner developer to have 3 qualified people to look at, not just, you know, the residential designer from down the street. I really want to make sure these are qualified people who know what they're talking about, can tell me about outcomes. So I think our consumer is more savvy. So the fact that they're more savvy, I think what it's done for my firm is allowed us to say, oh, and by the way, we are qualified, and this is how and why, and here's the credential to prove it. So I think it's been a good backup to explain to clients who are, they're much more consumer savvy. It's not we're decorators, nothing worse.
What's your vision for AAHID?
I'd like to see anyone who wants to work in healthcare to be certified. I mean, because if you want to raise the bar. You know, if you want to raise the bar in your industry, and we've always had a little bit difficulty of basically being taken seriously. And so if you want to be taken seriously, we need the interior designer as a stakeholder in the beginning of the project. They need to be stepping it up, and they need to be right there from the beginning. And with that type of credentialing, I think that you could see that how it could do that for you. But I also think there's an opportunity for the American College of Healthcare Architects, which I also am a member of, to be able to see the nice synergy and symbiotic relationship between architecture and interior design. So if we could get AHID and ACHA to work closer together, I think that would be one of my huge goals. And one other thing I think that could really happen for AHID is, and this is a broad one, this is a big one, but if they could work toward ANSI standard development, because there isn't anyone developing ANSI standards for healthcare interiors. And I think that our organization could actually be that organization to do that.
You could actually spearhead that development, and it hasn't been done yet?
It has not. There's different ones that have in terms of sustainability and other types of standards, but not for healthcare interior design.
HCD TV, from the publishers of Healthcare Design, providing expert insight into the design, architecture, and engineering of healthcare environments. Online, in print, and in person. HCD TV.